Yeah, film major fist bump. Camera
You're
fist
entertaining
bump.
even when you're not filming.
Well, yeah, because I'm a writer by nature, so it's just like
I'll
I spout
be
out
right back.
random all the time. Buddy.
No. We're not starting the film here. I don't want to alienate a good chunk of my audience too soon. Let's just move on to the opening monologue and we'll come back to this later. Oh, it's the sound equipment. It's the most top-notch I can have, but if there's anything I learned from film school, it's you have to make the best out of what you have. It's pretty much my way of saying, I have very few resources, and I know that. I'm not going to pretend I don't know that. Okay? Yep, it works. Okay. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with my life? Make movies. How am I going to go about doing it for a living? I don't know. I just know I love to tell stories. I have plenty of fictional and documentary films under my belt already. Short films. Dozens of stuff I made in my spare time and in film school. And from September 2015 to March 2017, I made 3 feature-length films. What's important is trying to get them out there somehow. Moving to Central Arkansas from my hometown in Northeast Arkansas was the best thing that ever happened to me. I got to be a part of the local film community. I made lots of friends. I made lots of films. And I got a girlfriend. She lives in Overland Park, Kansas, which is about 6 hours away from where I live in Conway, Arkansas. We've been together for over 2 years and we just managed to make the long-distance thing work. We text each other every day, we see each other every month, and she even collaborates with me on my recent projects. She's crazy about me. I'm crazy about her. Her name is Kelly, and if it weren't for her, my life would probably be nothing but movies, and more movies. I even made a movie in which I play a character who has trouble balancing out his love for his woman and his love for film, and it ends with pretty bad results. But it has a semi-happy ending, so that makes it okay. And so as we reach our 3rd year as a couple, I gotta do something special for her. But what? 3 years as a couple, what could I possibly do for her? So, this is my home. It's very comfortable. It's a duplex in a neighborhood called Silver Spring Circle, just not very far from UCA campus. Kind of made it easier for me to walk to classes last year when I was still a student. Oh, Lindsay, might I see you for a minute, please? Maybe in the morning, she said. Okay. This was supposed to be a fitting introduction to my loving roommate, Lindsay Staggs. She is one of my dearest friends, and I took her in when her lease was up on her apartment. This fall, I will be leaving the comforts of this place that I've known for almost 2 years and going off to a whole new world in Kansas or Missouri. I haven't really decided yet. I'll figure it out. I got time. Okay. Alright, so this is pretty much a no-budget movie. I just have my friends coming in doing camera and sound, just pretty much as favors.
We're his friends. Oh, we are? Sweet. Huh.
Alright,
Looks like we're in an apartment.
so this is my bed. It's been the same bed ever since I started living here back since August 2015. It's just a cot with a mattress on top of it. It's comfortable enough. Like I said, that's my lounge chair. And on the walls here are all my favorite movies that really mean something to me. Because as you can probably tell, I'm a big time movie buff. Can you tell?
Mm-mm.
No.
Doesn't look like you work out at all. Oh, wrong buff, sorry.
Yeah, this is it's my place. I'm gonna miss it when I leave. Come here. Hey, kitty. Yeah, that's right. Kelly has no idea what we're doing here. She has no idea what movie we're making. She has no idea what we're doing right now. I'm actually texting her. My alibi is that I'm at some kind of party. That's why that's why I'm being slow in her responses. What?
I said, wait, we weren't supposed to tell her?
We're just working the proposal video.
Hi, this is Tanner Smith, and if this footage gets released to you before January 2018, excuse me. If this footage is released to you before January 2018, then the person responsible is now dead, I'm sorry to say. We are shooting a reenactment segment, one of 4, I think? Yeah, 4 right now. This is Jacob Miles. My
name is Tanner. Yeah, that's me.
That's my shirt. That's my hat. Those are even my glasses. I'm wearing contacts today. See that?
I am Tanner.
We were Facebook friends, we were chatting on Messenger, we were texting, we were calling, we were Skyping. This went on for about 10 months. And she actually told me that over the summer, she actually started to fall in love with me. She was waiting for me to actually say something, because I think she could tell that I was falling in love with her too. But I didn't know what to do, because I wasn't really all for long-distance relationships at the time. I mean, she's in Overland Park, Kansas. I'm in Conway, Arkansas. That's 6 hours away from each other. But after 10 months, it was November 2nd, 2014. It was her birthday. And I called her up. And I was just saying something about how, hey, isn't this great that we were really great friends all this time? Think how it all happened and stuff like that. Do you ever think about what would happen if we were, boyfriend and girlfriend? Hypothetically speaking, of course. I was being as hypothetical as I could possibly be, but she could even tell that where I was going with this. So in my not very subtle way of being hypothetical about what would happen if we were in a long distance relationship, she would either have to come down here or I would have to move down there. I asked, would you like to do that? And she said, sure. And I said, really? And she was like, yes. That was one of the happiest days of my life, because I had a friggin' girlfriend, and I've been looking for someone as awesome as Kelly to be my friggin' girlfriend. But we still hadn't met each other in person. The closest we have ever gotten was Skyping. Seeing each other's faces just doesn't exactly count as meeting in person. I don't even know if you could call the phone conversation a meet cute, because technically we haven't really met. We just, our voices met, for sure. But anyway, we knew that if we were going to do this, if we were going to become boyfriend and girlfriend, we would have to actually see each other. That goes without saying, doesn't it? But luckily, a couple weeks later, school was letting out for Christmas break, and we had a weekend in Branson planned. Just 3 fun days in Branson. We got to see each other in person, and we got to have fun. So I had hyped myself pretty good for this woman. Basically, what I know about her is from her texts, from her voice in phone calls, from her personality in Skype. But I think seeing someone in person different from that is probably something a little different. I didn't really know what to expect. And so I got to the hotel a little early. I was waiting in the lobby for her, and I was already nervous because I had already driven 3 hours just to get to that hotel in Branson, and I had waited so long just to see this person. And then all of a sudden, she walks in the door, and there she was. She was skinnier than I imagined her to be, I'll tell you that. But that wasn't a bother. She just smiled that smile that I knew from the Skype calls, and I was happy to see her. She was taller than I thought she would be. She was like 5'11" and a half to my 5'10". I didn't let that bother me either. It was her. She was here. She was smiling. She was laughing. We were hugging each other. We got to talk, and we exchanged Christmas gifts. And I just knew then that this would be the start of something great. Actually, I think it should have been way sooner when it would have been the start of something great. I think I was hoping for the start of something great to be felt at that time, but when I actually met her in person, that's when I knew this would be the start of something great. Say cheese.
Cheese! Oh my god, I gotta get a picture of this.
This is awesome. What do you think, Kelly?
That looks like they're very
They look very real.
There we are. We made it!
We should probably find a map. Yeah.
right here.
The blue tree.
The weekend in Branson was the time of my life. Not only did I know I loved Kelly in person as much as I did on the phone or on Skype, but I also knew that our relationship could continue. We had a lot of fun. We shared tender moments. And when we separated after it was over, I felt bittersweet but also optimistic that we would definitely see each other again. We had to. Our 3-day weekend in Branson has come to a close, and it's time for the both of us to go home. I don't want to go home.
Me either. I love you. Alright, have a good, safe trip back to Conway.
Yeah, you too. I mean, you have a nice drive home to Overland Park.
Alright, I will. And I'll text you when I get home.
Alright.
You better text me when you get home.
Are you kidding? Yep, you're Nicole
Nicole with
Kidman.
Nicole.
Nicole Kidman. I'm the same height as her, actually.
Nicole and Nicole.
And the Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly and I had a mutual friend come along for a good portion of the trip. And that's Nikki. Nicole Emerson. She's my best friend and the one who brought me and Kelly together in the first place. So I basically met Kelly through a friend back at UCA named Nikki Emerson. She was from Overland Park, Kansas too. So my first semester at UCA, I was like having trouble making friends or whatever, and then along comes Nikki, and she is just this really awesome person, and I became like great friends with her. We liked each other, we became like the best of friends. And then as time went on, we got to know each other even more. Like she got to know about my friends, my hometown, and I got to know about her friends in her hometown. And one of those friends is practically her sister because they spend so much time together whenever like they're in Kansas together. That person is named Kelly. And so she's like, oh man, you gotta meet my sister Kelly. She is like totally awesome. And I'm like, you have a sister? And she's like, no, it's not my real sister. It's like my friend who's like my sister. She's really cool and she's smoking hot. And I'm like, oh, okay, awesome. Can't wait to meet her. So then New Year's comes along, and it's the beginning of 2014, and Nikki is back in Kansas for the holidays, and she is having sort of a New Year's party with Kelly and a couple friends. And she calls me up and says, hey, Happy New Year, man. You want to talk to Kelly? And then she just hands the phone to Kelly, and Kelly's like, hello? And I'm like, hi, what's up? How you doing? And stuff. And she's like, oh, I'm good. Happy New Year. I'm Kelly. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm Tanner. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It was kind of awkward for both of us, but then, you know, after that, that just started something very special. I mean, we became Facebook friends. We were like chatting in Facebook Messenger. We were exchanging each other's phone numbers and texting and calling and Skyping. And then 10 months later, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And so when Nikki found out that she and I were like a thing now, we were trying a long distance thing, like she's being in Kansas, I'm being in Arkansas. Nikki wasn't as much concerned about the long distance thing as she was about, well, me and Kelly being together in general. And she pretty much told me one day, listen, dude, listen, Buster, if you do wrong by my sister, I will pound you into the ground. I am super tall, and I will beat you. I will whoop your ass, buddy. And I'm like, oh, okay, I won't do wrong by her then. And she's like, yeah, you better not.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you?
Good. Okay, so you know that I'm coming down to Kansas this fall, right? Or at least that's the plan right now.
You're coming down to Kansas this fall?
Yeah, but I'm moving there. Didn't I tell you that?
Well, I know you told me you were moving here. You never specified as to when.
This fall. That's the plan anyway.
Okay.
Okay. By the end of the year, maybe sometime around Christmas, I want to propose to Kelly.
I knew it!
Of course you did.
Yeah!
And you're taking this a lot better than I thought you would.
Okay, do you want me to be completely honest with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not gonna get, like, offended or hurt by this?
No.
You're not gonna think I'm weird, are you?
I already think you're weird.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Part of the reason why I never really accepted you and Kelly together was... I was jealous of you guys.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. Part of the reason I had a hard time accepting your relationship was, yeah, I kind of thought that Kelly could... No offense! Don't take this the wrong way. But a part of me thought that Kelly could do better than you. But as the year went on and the two of you were dating, you know, I got to see how you were completely sweet to her. You were absolutely great to her. You are an incredible guy. And I guess part of me just could not accept the fact that you two were together because in a way part of me was jealous because Kelly was able to find such a great guy. Because it's like, here I am, you know, all by myself, you know, still single, never met a guy, never going to meet a guy, and yet here's my closest best friend, my own damn sister. She meets a great guy, and so naturally I couldn't help but feel jealous.
Don't say you're never going to meet someone, because that's just not possible.
It is in my case. I guess that's my own cross to bear. That's my own curse against me. However, it's something I've...
This was a surprising development for both this film and for our friendship. I'd never known Nikki to share something that personal with me. I mean, up until then, I'd seen her as a larger-than-life figure, making jokes, talking movies with me, and so on. I guess in some way I knew that she was jealous of me and Kelly, but I didn't know she felt this way. I didn't think that I was going to find someone as awesome as Kelly. Someone like me is going to find someone awesome as you. He is going to find you. You are not going to live... You are going to find someone. Someone is going to find you. And it's going to be awesome. And I guess to show more of how I knew her before, I'm going to show another reenactment out of the blue. Mostly because I don't know where to put it, and I kind of forgot about it as I wrote this outline. Before that meet-cute, awkward phone call, Nikki and Kelly sent me a video. Nikki sent me a video. It was 5 minutes before the ball dropped, and she brought Kelly along with her. She was like, hey, let's scare Tanner. And she was like, okay, whatever, I'll go along with it. And so Nikki took the video with her phone and faced it towards her and Kelly, and she was saying something like, hello, and Kelly was playing along like, hello. Nikki was like, we're going to creep you out. Oh, yeah, we are. Because Kelly was playing along. And they were making these hissing sounds like... And then Nikki sent me that video. It was very unexpected. Man, I wish I still had that video. And then that's when the phone call happened. By the way, if you're complaining about how these actors don't really look like the people they're playing, then I advise you to instead ask yourself why you're questioning the logic of a no-budget personal meta-documentary that's probably only playing at a local festival by the time it's finished. And then you can ask yourself why you're still watching. Why is there one missing?
Because it was eaten last night against orders. Ooh.
Lindsay's been my roommate for almost a year, and she's been one of my best friends for about 4 years. Ever since we started chatting on Facebook. We didn't know each other, we just had mutual friends, and we would often just like talk about a bunch of random things, and it sort of grew into a friendship where I could get the female perspective on certain things about, like looking for a girlfriend and stuff like that, because like I wasn't really looking for a lover, I was looking for a friend. And when I started chatting with Kelly, I started feeling these feelings, and I would often talk to Lindsay about it because, well, maybe kind of awkward to talk about it with Nikki, considering how close she and Kelly are. That's one of the advantages of having a female best friend, at least one anyway. And then it was Halloween 2014, and she and I went to a screening in Little Rock, and I showed her a picture of Kelly, and I was like, "You see her? I like her. I'm thinking about asking her to be my girlfriend, but I'm not quite sure about that." And then she told me, "Dude, what are you not sure about? You have to. Ask her to be your girlfriend. She's beautiful, and you seem to like her a lot. You have to. Ask her to be your girlfriend. Man up, bitch." Okay, she didn't say bitch, but she did tell me that other stuff. And the next day was November 1st, and I had time to think about it. And the next day was going to be her birthday, November 2nd. And I was just thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? Do I want to go for it? I don't think it took me that long to realize I wanted to. So yeah, I pretty much owe a lot to Lindsay for appearing in a few of my films and inspiring me to man up and ask Kelly to be my girlfriend. Thank you, Lindsay.
Stop filming me!
Kelly Woodruff. Born November 1991. Currently lives with her family in Overland Park, Kansas. Substitute teacher. Caregiver at Helpers Inc. Quite tall for a woman, about 5'11 and a half. Loves horses. And the love of my life.
Go! Hi!
Hi! Kelly and I usually see each other once a month. Sometimes she comes to Arkansas, other times I come to Kansas. Mostly we just spend a few days together before we have to separate, and then, well, we figure out when we're going to see each other next. It's usually how a relationship goes. And in between, there's texting and Skyping and however else we can communicate. So every now and then, I like to ask Kelly to tell me about what she thinks our future is going to hold for us, because sometimes I sort of doubt myself, and sometimes I just need some kind of some kind of a reminder that these are going to be okay. But I always like to hear it because it always sounds so good the way she puts it. We try to do something different each time. This one weekend in May, we decided to go to a local farmstead to see some animals.
Hi! And what we call a bison is actually a buffalo. Aren't they adorable? You ready to go for a ride?
Yeah.
You're having fun?
Are you having fun?
I'm having fun.
Well, then I'm having fun. All right, let's talk proposal. How would you not like to be proposed to?
Well, don't stick the ring in my food, otherwise I might eat it.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Don't want it coming out a few days later. I like it a little bit more personal, more romantic. Because, it's a whole lot of pressure when it's in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I won't do that.
I want it pressure-free.
I made lots and lots of independent short films, but I also have 3 independent feature films. And they're all made in documentary style, like this one. Oma and Us is finished, and one I'm desperately trying to get out there. Oma and Us was a film that Kelly and I co-directed in 2016, a documentary about Kelly's grandmother, whom she called Oma, which is Dutch for grandmother. It's about Oma telling her story of when she was a little girl in Dutch Indonesia during World War II, and she and her family were imprisoned by the Japanese army. Much of the film is her telling her story to Kelly, but we didn't want to show much archival footage or photographs because we didn't want to make it a historical documentary. Instead, we wanted to make a personal family story about a woman who went through hell and came out a strong inspiration to her offspring.
Thank you, Kelly.
It's our personal favorite film we ever worked on. When it was finished, Kelly and I had big plans for it. After we had a fundraiser, we submitted the feature-length version to many, many festivals. But unfortunately, we only got it into one. That was the Ozark Foothills Film Fest in Batesville, Arkansas. which don't get me wrong, we are grateful for. We still had to keep getting it shown somewhere. Like, if I'm not gonna get this film out there, then I let Kelly down, I let her family down. I still made the movie. I still did what they wanted me to do. I told Oma's story. They should be proud of me for that. I mean, like, and I'm gonna get it out there sooner or later, even if I have to self-distribute the damn thing. So it's just like, just because I got rejected from a few festivals, that doesn't mean that I failed Kelly and her family. I'm sure they're still proud of me. You know, things are gonna happen. I just have to wait for them, because, like, life is all about moments, and moments just don't happen every day. You have a moment, and then you want to have a new one, and you have to wait for that next moment. And you can't just wait around and just wait for those moments to come to you. You got to actually do something to make that happen. And I have it in my mind, like, what I want to do, to propose to Kelly, to make her happy. I have a plan to move to Kansas. I also have a plan to make it as a filmmaker, but, like, I know that's just, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So basically, I just have to keep on trying, just wait for the right moment, because I know something's going to happen. I just have to keep waiting. Life is all about waiting. I'm going to shut the door. So I believe that what I'm setting out to do is going to happen. It just doesn't have to be like for these festivals. It can be for like other festivals. I don't know. But and like maybe when I move to Kansas, maybe I don't get the job that I wanted. Maybe I get some other job. But I'm still gonna do something. And maybe the way that I proposed to Kelly, which I just thought of recently, is not gonna happen the way I think it's gonna happen now. But it's something like that is still gonna happen, because I feel like life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It may not happen exactly the way I plan it, but good things are still gonna come. I can feel it. I believe it, and I got people who believe in me, so I gotta believe in myself. Kelly believes in me, and so I'm just gonna make it happen. So every time that I doubt myself, I just have to remember that life is all about waiting. Alright, you can cut it. Well, if you made it this far, and you decide whether you like me and or Kelly or not, then maybe you're ready for the time in which I decided I was going to propose by the end of 2017. So it was a couple of days after New Year's, and I was feeling horrible. My side of my back was hurting like crazy, and oh god, this is so embarrassing. I felt like I had to pee a lot, and I couldn't. Yeah, it was a kidney stone.
What?
This sort of thing just like freaked me out, because I'd heard horror stories about kidney stones. I seen that Seinfeld episode in which Kramer had a kidney stone, and I was like, oh man, why'd this have to happen to me? This is gonna hurt like crazy. This sucks, man. Everything hurts. And that day was the same day I was supposed to leave Kansas and come back home, but I couldn't, because like when we got back from the doctor that day, Kelly like suggested that I stay in Kansas for like a few more days. And so just I stayed in Kansas. I was suffering, and Kelly was being my nurse. That's the angel that she is. But then a couple of days later, all right, honesty. I got constipated. Oh god damn it. Okay. You know, the worst thing about like going through this, like when you're basically trapped with your girlfriend, is having to tell her certain things, personal things, such as like wanting to pee all the time and you just can't, and now this constipated thing, and I'm just like, I have to tell her because I need some sort of laxative, something that'll help. But she understood completely, and it was late at night, and she walked out to the nearby pharmacy to get me some laxatives. And I stayed in her room, I was in bed, and then about 20 minutes later, she comes back with the medicine, and she tells me, hey, did you know it was snowing? And I'm like, what? And so I look out the window, and I realize there is a full blanket of snow on the ground, on the street, on the lawn, everything. So basically, she drove to the nearby pharmacy, which I found out was a Walmart, which is like 5 minutes away from the house. She went through snow, a storm, a blizzard, to get me some medicine. She went through that for me. I told my friend Brian about this, like, soon after I passed the kidney stone. I told him what Kelly did. I told him what Kelly did for me, and his response was basically,
If you don't marry her, you are crazy.
I've been hiding in this bathroom for like an hour now.
This is Dewey Farmer. He went through the UCA film program, same as me and Nikki. In his senior year, though, in the spring of 2015, he pulled off something that should be an urban legend on campus by now. You see, he enlisted me and many other classmates to pull off a scam to fool his girlfriend Sarah into acting in an amateur production based on her favorite anime, Sailor Moon. What she didn't know was that Dewey was hiding in the restroom of the building with an engagement ring.
The secret is still alive, but we need to get through these shots before Dewey dies in this bathroom.
I was, to be perfectly honest, a bit more zen being in the bathroom than anything else. Like, the planning, the going to the meetings, talking to the crew, setting up things, was really nerve-wracking. And I think it continued to be nerve-wracking up until I got into the bathroom.
Sarah?
I knew that was you. I thought it was a joke. This is Dewey, who likes to play little jokes on me. A quiet came over the set, and then as I kind of started to realize, okay, this is real, this is an actual proposal, I just went in for, I think I just went in for a hug, but everyone's like, is that a yes? That was both fun and frustrating, and then just bliss.
Can we cut and get this again? Was there a yes in there?
So much! I love you so much. There are a lot of people that don't get a proposal that sweet, that's that well thought out and planned and catered to a person. So I felt extremely lucky and just loved that day.
Blah, blah, blah. Team leader does this, team leader does that, agrees and grants. Whatever, let's just sign this thing. The 48-hour film project is an ultimate experience for indie filmmakers. The idea is to get your own crew together and make a short film in just 48 hours. And I mean, the whole thing has to be done in 48 hours. No team is supposed to have a story idea to go with before the team leader draws film genres at the 48-hour kickoff. I didn't necessarily have a film idea before I went out to draw, but with Dewey on the team, and this documentary in development, Secret Marriage Proposal Scheme just kept popping up in my head. So when I drew the genres, romance or period piece, Dewey immediately read my mind. But we didn't really know what we were going to do for the film. But then we were discussing it with Kelly, Nikki, Brittany, and my sister Scout, and they came up with something to get the ball rolling.
Proposing as the ball drops, that's basically normal. That happens like all the time, and that's not like, there's no wow factor to it. It's like,
If Sarah were to propose to me, I have no idea.
Women these days are proposing to their man.
Right?
So this will kind of be like a movie approach to bring it out to the open.
Paperwork.
Very important. This is the co-producer doing her first duty, handing out the paperwork. And for the period piece angle, he had something else in mind. Y2K.
Here it comes. 2, 1. Happy New Year!
Christina grins, wiggling with anticipation. She watches the skyline. The city goes on like normal. Christina's excitement gives way to impatience. She throws her hands up.
Well, come on already. Where's the fireball? The plane's falling from the sky?
Kyle hugs Christina's shoulders. Maybe the world isn't ending.
But it has to. I had it all planned out.
She fishes a ring pop out of her pocket.
We were gonna be brave we were gonna brave the wastelands together, like Michael York and Jenny
Gutter.
Thank you. Jenny and Gutter in Logan's Run.
Christina slips the ring pop onto Kyle's finger.
You were gonna propose to me.
Christina looks down at her feet. Kyle smiles, then leans his head against her shoulder.
Sing! Mic drop.
I went to William Shatner in the middle.
I was gonna say, I noticed that right off the bat. You went to William Shatner, and I just loved it.
Thank you for that, Brian.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
And
for
of
that.
course, I had to yell everything that was in all caps.
Maybe I shouldn't do that.
You're getting this, right?
I am. Dirty slot galore.
Sounds good so far.
Action!
Kyle, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. Seriously? Why?
When Y2K hits and paper money is worthless, what do you think we're going to use for currency?
Beanie Babies.
Duh! Beanie Babies! Alright, that was pretty
I just
good.
can't help but imagine how close it looked if it was handheld. And... action.
Will you just take that to the car?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why are we taking your Beanie Babies?
Talk to the hand. I'm trying to find something.
Okay, we don't need tongs to survive Armageddon.
Would you please just take that to the car before the airplanes start falling out of the sky?
Just like that push in on her face when she's delivering that final thing.
Get it on, you
Can I take a look at that really quick?
Here, go ahead.
Thank you. Does that look like pretty good on my end?
Sound was good.
I wanted to see.
Fantastic.
I'm not even taking any shit from the writer. Got that? He's on the shadiest.
This is so much fun.
Oh my Kelly. No, but I mean, if you go
Busy
to a
night.
party, do you ever hear?
As you can see, they already did one window.
That is a cost. Lights go on. Lights go
Yeah.
I get full.
Almost seems like there should be like one more.
That's your sad attempt of trying to bring life.
Tanner, take this. Kelly,
Try?
take this.
That's true.
What is all this?
Y2K Planet Maya.
What do you mean?
Yes, come over here. Everyone, to the next 1,000 years.
Just don't forget to breathe.
Hey, what do you think Josh's ending score?
Kelly's got the goods. We do have the film, right? Okay. Good thing I asked.
Just, I know. I know we do. I was just pretending.
Okay. Jeez, don't scare me like that, Kelly.
And the official time is 7:20.
And just like that, we made a film that we were all proud of in just 48 hours. And I was more than happy to share the moment with Kelnis.
We're still going.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, here it comes. 2, 1.
Something about the end of the world as we know it seemed to speak to them. It made them laugh, it moved them, it connected with them.
Well,
The film was voted as one of the top 13 audience favorites, and it moved on to the finale screening, where it was nominated for Best Editing, a personal victory for me and Nikki. And a victory as a filmmaker was just what I needed at that point in my life. After I've moved to Kansas, will I do it again next year? Maybe, but this was good enough for now. Okay, I found a lot more footage. Some of the footage is from when Kelly came to Conway for the first time in January 2015, and the other is from Kelly's graduation. There's gotta be something I can do with this. You just like, if you take all the footage that I have of me and Kelly, of the whole movie footage, take that, and you can make something out of that. It's like a progression. I wish I had an apostrophe.
Hello.
Hey, Mom.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good. I think I know how I'm gonna propose now.
What?
I can actually propose to her on New Year's. I can host a party, I can have Kelly shoot for Project Kellness, and I can make a short film using bits and pieces of all this footage showing that progression, like showing that year by year thing, like the year of friendship, the year of romance, the year of collaboration, the year of fulfillment, and such. It'll end with a caption that says 2018, the year of commitment, and it shows me on camera holding out the ring, and then before Kelly knows it, I am standing right next to her holding out the ring. I am down in one knee. That is what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to propose to her.
That sounds great. That sounds great. It's work. No, I'm kidding.
So I had a great creative idea to propose to Kelly at New Year's, and I had a great time with the new film I was proud of that Kelly helped with. I felt like nothing could bring me down from that high. And then something did. Okay, so I was supposed to go to Kansas this weekend, but it didn't really turn out that way. So a couple days after the award ceremony, there was something wrong with my eyesight. It wanted to do nothing but look down. As much as I wanted to look straight ahead, just kept looking down. I had to keep going like this the whole time. That's my point of view right there. I thought it was sleep deprivation. A couple days later, my sister took me to the doctor. And then that doctor recommended an eye doctor. And then the eye doctor recommended I go to the emergency room. And then the doctor took a look at my eyes and said I should spend the night in a hospital while they do some tests on me. Because they said it might be multiple sclerosis. I had no idea what that was, but they're the doctors, so I had to just let them do the lumbar puncture, take a bunch of blood tests, fill me up with steroid treatments, give me a total scan of my entire body. I was in that tube for 18 minutes. I don't get claustrophobic easily, but I don't want to do that again. And my parents came down because they were worried. Lindsay came down because she was worried. And then when I was out of the hospital, Kelly, when she found out about it, she dropped everything that she was doing in Kansas to come down and help take care of me while I had to go back to the hospital for the next 3 days. Just like visited every 3 days for more steroid treatments.
You okay?
Yeah. I actually feel a lot better.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Still gotta go through those treatments though. 4th steroid treatment. This is fun. Totally fun. Just one more. I am so dizzy right now. And so because of those treatments, I was sick, I was weak. My eyesight got back to normal. That was the ironic thing. And Kelly just took care of me. She was my nurse, like she was with the kidney stone.
And I'm like moving like I'm showcasing them. Ta-da!
You're my Vanna White. I think I'll take a break from filmmaking for a while, so just until I figure things out, become a real person.
You are a real person.
But I gotta take better care of myself. I gotta get a real job.
Gotta take better care of your health, too.
Yeah, that's just what I want.
Totally hippie, man. Peace.
She pretty much dropped everything that she was doing in Kansas to help take care of me in Arkansas. You know, I've often said that her driving through the snow to get me some friggin' laxatives was the best thing that she ever did for me, but driving 6 hours all the way from Kansas to Arkansas. This is why I have to marry her. I was pretty weak because of the treatments, and I spent the rest of the week in bed just trying to make myself get better. Because I had to come to Kansas the following weekend. I just had to. Maybe I wasn't 100% better by the time I drove over to Kelly's, but I still felt well enough to drive the whole 6 hours to Kansas. No matter what, I had to see Kelly get baptized, after she postponed it so she could be with me. And in addition to that, the solar eclipse was the day after. It was kind of a big thing, so Kelly and I had to see it together.
This is Shawnee Mission Park.
Go for it.
Okay, now look up at the sun. You see it?
I see it. It's the moon.
I wish this could get darker. But it was the kind of day that reminded me of the time of my life in Branson. When I'm with her, when nothing else matters, when she's the most beautiful thing in the world to me. And it's a moment that reminds me that no matter how much footage I can get from it, that doesn't matter, because actually living it is even better. After that, the next couple months were kind of a blur. The test did come back about a month later. And yeah, I have MS. Not quite something I was expecting, to be honest, but I had to try harder to get myself to move closer to where Kelly is, and I knew where I wanted to work.
Morning, Kelly.
A popular retail store that,
How you doing?
honestly, I'm not sure I have permission to use here yet, so I'm just going to call it Nostalgic Stuff. And there were at least 12 different locations within Kelly's 40-mile radius, and I applied to every single one of them. After a while, I heard back from one, in Blue Springs, Missouri, about 35 miles outside Overland Park. So I came back and I was interviewed. And I got the job. Well, I now have a job, so I guess the next step is to find a place so I can start on said job. Move closer to this girl. This was it. The thing I'd been meaning to do all year. Move closer to Kelly. Actually, it was a thing that I've been meaning to do since I started a relationship with her in the first place. Make our long-distance relationship a relationship. So in those 2 weeks, I came back to Kansas to go apartment hunting. I had Catcher record footage of me saying goodbye to UCA. I hung out with my friends who I knew I would miss terribly. And I was slowly but surely moving stuff out. It was a bittersweet goodbye, to say the least. Here I was, diagnosed with MS, starting a whole new life, wanting to propose to my girlfriend. I was scared. But the thing that kept me going throughout was Kelly, reminding me silently of what and who I'm doing this for. And it is unnerving making this big change, but there's a plus side to taking a break from filmmaking. And I'm ready for a change in my life. in front of the building, and I have about 25 minutes until I walk in there. You know, I was gonna say this is the beginning of the rest of my life, but I've had so many beginnings. Oh, what a long, hard day at work. So boring, so dull, but I gotta do it because I love Kelly. What? What's that? This wasn't here yesterday or the day before. What? Was somebody in my apartment? What's going on here? Wait a minute. I recognize this handwriting. What's going on here? Okay, I will start you off easy. I have things hanging inside me, but I'm not a gallery. I store things, but I'm not a shed. I'm in your apartment. I contain clothes, but I'm not a washing machine. What am I? Contain clothes, the closet. Let's go to the closet. Yeah, but I'm looking. What do we got here? Hangers! New hangers! Hangers to hang all these leftover clothes that need to be hanged. What? I'm found in the kitchen, but I'm sorry to say I'm not a microwave. I reflect things upside down, but I'm not a house of mirrors. What am I? Find me. Hang, reflect things upside down. Spoons. What? Okay, I only had like one butter knife, 3 forks, and about 5 spoons. Look at what she got me here. She got me this tray too. Can you believe that? I mean, Santa got me that. Yeah. I'm cold, but I don't need a coat. If I get warmed up, I change appearance, but I'm not popcorn. What am I? Ice! Ice cube trays. And look, they've got ice in them. I'm in your house, but I'm not a TV. I get pushed down, but I'm not a plunger. I have several temperature settings, but I'm not a microwave. Still sorry. It's a toaster! It's a toaster! I can make toast and Pop-Tarts. Yes! Kelly did this. Kelly did this. Do you see why I want to marry this person now? If you haven't figured it out already? Well, it's 4 days later, and she did it again. Tenero, Santa came again. Look around the apartment to see what you got. No way. I swear, this is not a reenactment. This is an actual reaction upon seeing a freaking microwave. Poor thing's crazy about me. So just to recap, I live alone, my job is dull, and the weather here is indecisive. And yeah, rush hour kind of sucks. I want to go home. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't.
I want to go home.
Hey, you are the only thing that is keeping me here.
Hey, there's rush hour everywhere, not just here.
Yeah, I'm sure if I got a job in Arkansas, I probably would face the same thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll take that off the list. Do kind of miss Arkansas, but strangely, not as much as I thought I would. Finished stock. Inject myself. 2. Didn't even feel it. You know, it's pretty ironic. I've been afraid of needles all my life, and now I have to inject myself 3 times a week. But it's pretty good because I can't feel it. Oh my god, that's blood. That is blood. I did that to myself. Whew.
I'm not looking my best, just to warn you.
It's a documentary. No one looks their best.
Okay, this is true. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
So last week I hung out with Kelly, and I talked to her about I talked to her about you. I asked her how things were with you and her, and she said they were really good. And she also told me that she was really glad that you moved up here because it made the situation like a whole lot easier, like money-wise, gas-wise, and everything. And she looked really happy too, as she looked glad, of course, but I could tell she was really happy when she said that.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I mean, it's clear you make her happy. You guys are obviously good together, and she makes you happy, and you make her happy, and that's apparent.
That's what I hope for.
That's what you got.
Well, with that said, there's no possible way she'd be able to say no when I propose to her, right?
Don't get your hopes up.
Dun dun dun. Hey.
Hi.
Happy anniversary and birthday, or whatever.
Thank you.
How you doing? And last year, on our second anniversary, I made a promise that by the time our third anniversary came around, I would be living here. Guess what?
You made true on that promise.
That's right. You may be wondering, if this documentary is supposed to be top secret, doesn't Kelly wonder why I'm filming everything? Well, I told her it's my way of coping with MS, and she bought it. But to be honest, dealing with MS is no walk in the park. I didn't really know much about it. I just knew that stress can cause relapses in MS, and working in retail doesn't really help much. But you just have to find some way to center yourself and calm yourself when things get really crazy or you just start to get really dizzy. You just have to find some way to just remember what you're doing this for and why. I'm not sure where that's going to go from there, but really the worst part about it was the medicine. The irony of some medicines, like my prescription for Rebif Rebidose, is that they can make you even sicker. It happened with the steroid treatments in August, and then it happened the first few weeks I started taking my medicine. Headaches, fever, weakness, and worst of all, I couldn't sleep. I just lay in bed, my mind racing all around, wishing someone would come into the room and save me. It's sometimes beautiful, and you're at peace, but it's also extremely haunting. I did eventually find a way to keep from noticing the side effects and get a good night's sleep after I take the medicine. It was just rough going for a while. Hey, was that you? Was that you that did this to my pumpkin? Why'd you leave Kelly's alone, huh? Are you a big admirer of art? Is that it? Everybody's a critic. Been here for 4 weeks now. I'd say I'm pretty much adjusted. I gotta put my plan into action. Had a dream. I had a dream that I was looking for the perfect ring at this jewelry store, and I found it. But I couldn't get it, because I didn't know Kelly's ring size. How do I find that out without giving myself away? So, you got Kelly's ring size?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a size 5.
You are a hero right now. You are the key accomplice to this whole scheme. Bump it.
She asked me why I wanted to know. I told her I had some plans for her birthday and potentially Christmas. Which, that's not a lie, because I did have plans for her birthday.
Very clever. Very clever.
Yeah.
Anyway, why am I playing this up to you? You guys already know what it is. It's what I've been working towards for the past several months. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't she gonna be so impressed? Oh man.
But yeah, some of these like Tanner Kelly responses are really good because they're like things that the real life Tanner and Kelly would do.
How do you feel I represented you?
It's about like 50-50 because like some of the responses like the listen dude, listen Buster, if you hurt my sister, I will whoop your ass.
You said something. You did say something like that.
I was gonna say that's a Nikki response.
Yeah.
I like that.
What do you think of the actress who plays you?
Oh my god, I love her. She's awesome. She does a really good job at. I think she's a much better Nikki than I am.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Come on, nobody can be you. You are you.
Thank you.
When I think about what Nikki said about how she felt when Kelly and I started dating, when I think about what she must have been going through all these years, and also taking into account that she still helped me with 48 Hour and discovering Kelly's ring size for me, I just couldn't help but hope that she would find the same happiness as me with someone special. And thankfully, she did.
Oh, I was like elated when I woke up this morning because it was like, oh my gosh, Josh is coming.
I thought it was great before, just talking about it, but now that I've actually seen you here, I'm even more comfortable with it, even more excited about it.
Really?
Yeah, like, just like whenever I first saw you here when I came, I was like, yeah, she really is as perfect as I imagined she would be. Yeah.
I kept half expecting you when you were like, when you had mentioned like us talking and seeing me imperfect, I kept half expecting you to just be like, she's really not all that perfect. Like, just go the exact opposite than what you ended up saying.
But you really are.
Well, I'm glad I'm at least living up to some kind of expectation that you have of me.
We're living up to every kind of expectation.
Oh, you have problem talking like I do sometimes.
Yeah. And,
hey.
You know, it's kind of like, I mean, some things are different, but nothing's bad, and a lot of things are better.
Kind of pretty much what I expected any relationship to be, for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, there is going to be some differences, of course, me being a giant and you being a dwarf, but... That's like these two, for example. She's a giant and he's a dwarf, but yet they're perfect together.
Okay, and let's just back up a little bit here. Okay, so long distance relationship, going to see her, driving all this way to go see her, and being really nervous about like what to expect and everything, and just accepting the relationship for what it is and really loving the hell out of it. Sound familiar? It's just so weird how truth is stranger than fiction, and also how certain lives seem to parallel other lives. I'm really glad you found someone, Nikki.
Aw, thank you.
I found someone too.
And I've known Josh for quite a while. Like, we hung out at film festivals.
We randomly bump into each other at every film festival.
Yeah, and I can tell you, he's a really good guy to talk to.
I've got a problem right about now. I spent my last paycheck on a down payment for Kelly's ring, which let me remind you I'm supposed to give to her on New Year's. So basically that means I don't have enough money for groceries, let alone more Christmas presents for Kelly. That's gonna seem a little suspicious, don't you think? So I told my coworker about my little plight, and she basically said this.
Why not ask her on Christmas?
Light bulb.
There you are.
Okay, so I think how it's gonna start out is I'm I'm gonna have some of the reenactments that I'm already gonna use in the documentary. I'm gonna put that in the proposal video, okay? And like Kelly will watch this and see these actors that she recognizes from Arkansas and be like, when did he do this? Why did he do this? What's going on here? So like right off the bat, she's hooked. It's basically gonna be a video that like chronicles our relationship, like the year of friendship, the year of romance, the year of commitments, blah blah blah, and then finally expose the ring. So the key is basically letting Kelly know that like something is coming up. Maybe she'll already know like what it's gonna be. Like maybe it will be a proposal, or maybe it'll be like something else, or maybe she'll just see it as like this really sweet Christmas present that I got for her as a way of like looking back at our relationship and whatnot. I gotta get something to eat. I gotta have some. I'm out of Hot Pockets. Why am I friggin' out of Hot Pockets? I have to do this later. What are you doing to me? You want some? Okay. Alright, back to work. It can be as long as I want it to because like I'm making it for her, I'm not making it for anyone else. God, I hate this computer. Some of this footage like Kelly doesn't even know I still have. Like her graduation. She'll be like, oh, my graduation, oh my god. God, she's beautiful. You know, I forget Oma and Us, forget Unscripted, forget Focusing Effect, forget The End of the World as We Know, I forget any film I ever made. This is the most important film I could ever make in my life because much of it really depends on what Kelly's going to say after she sees it. Will she say yes? Will she say no? What if she sees this and like finds out everything about this documentary and is like, you did all this for a film? I am so not marrying you. This relationship is over. Alright. But I can't think like that because like, she loves me. I know she loves me. I love her. We've been together for like 3 years. Everything's gonna be totally cool. Alright. Yeah, I don't need this right now. Okay. Alright, so I gotta think about the ending. I gotta think about the ending. The ending. I got it. Oh yeah. This could be the best day of my life, or it could be the worst day of my life. Alright. I got this. I'm gonna rip the mother. I'm gonna make this girl's dream come true. It's gonna be super awesome. I am so friggin' hyped. Ah! No! Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? She got me 2 tickets to see the Tenderloins on tour, on the Santiago Cenas tour for the Impractical Jokers at the Starlight Theater, May 18, 2018 at 7:30. Oh my god, this is amazing! Oh man. Oh my god, come here. Oh. I love you. Oh gosh.
It's also a gift for myself too, because we get to go together.
Yes!
Together.
Yes!
Merry Christmas.
Now, are you ready for your gift?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Now, are you ready for this? No, seriously, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
How ready are you?
Ready, Freddy.
Okay, I'll take that. And why don't we switch sides? That way we have you more in the center of attention here.
Oh boy.
And then we can get ready.
How do I look for the center of attention?
You look really good. Okay. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here you go. Wait, let me make sure the volume's all the way up. Okay, and whenever you're ready, just press play.
My hands are a little shaky.
Oh, okay. Ready? Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You might expect her to cry or squeal with delight, or even just say yes or no. But instead, she just finished watching the video and leaned in for a hug. That was when I knew I had my answer. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who might have thought that this wasn't going to be as predictable. She does say yes. Yeah, I know, sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but actually, I'm not sorry. I knew she was going to say yes. I wanted her to say yes. The way I see it, relationships are like filmmaking. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot to worry about, there's a lot of hard work, and there's even an inner narrative. And you want to get that ending that satisfies both you and your target audience. The main difference is your target audience is your significant other. And if your audience doesn't like what you've done, you try harder next time and just hope your next move wins them over. But if you can satisfy him or her with what you've done, that special bond that was already between the two of you can only strengthen and get tighter as time goes by. That's the biggest move to follow up with.
Well, I want to say that I was really surprised. I didn't see it coming. It was a good surprise, and I really loved it. I kind of had a feeling something was going on every once in a while, but then I was just like, whatever. I do remember when we were at 48 Hour Film Project, I was in the living room doing God knows what, and I heard you and Nikki in the other room, and I thought I heard you mention my name. And I was like, what are they talking about?
So Kelly is part of a film crew that is making a film about a secret proposal plan. What she doesn't know is that the behind the scenes footage is going into the actual film with a proposal plan involving her. Is that not crazy?
People who were in the crew for 48 Hour, half of them knew about the secret. Do you have something to say to them?
Thank you. It was a pleasant surprise. It was kind of funny to watch someone else be not me.
All right, so now we're engaged. I guess the next film is going to be a sequel. It's going to be about our wedding. It's going to be about the things. It's going to be about the things that happen. I got to remember to keep my mouth towards the mic so I can pick me up. It's going to be basically about the ups and downs of a wedding. It's going to show the hour leading up to our big ceremony.
Please, no bridezillas.
No. I said we're going to show what really happens. And I got to tell you, it's such a relief finally being able to tell you about all this. You have no idea how many times I just wanted to tell you what I've been doing, show you a little rough edit of what I've been doing with the reenactments and everything. It was just so much fun. Most fun I've ever had making a film. I wanted to tell you about it. It hurt me that I couldn't tell you about it.
Well, you finally told me about it because it was a pleasant and nice surprise, and I loved it. And I love you.
I love you too. Come here.